Hey, it's Lucy. This video is aimed at making a CV for PhD applications, but current students may find it helpful as well. Making your own template from scratch is a lot of hard, awkward, finicky work, but you do it once and that's it for years with only updates to add. When looking for inspiration for my first academic CV, I looked on research group web pages because a lot of students often have PDFs of their CVs on their personal pages. I downloaded about 10 that I liked and started playing around on Microsoft Word, and produced this. So this is the CV I sent to 7 universities around the world, and since it's about a year out of date, I'll let you have a look. It's 2 pages long. This should be the maximum for the main body of text, but publications and conference papers can go afterwards on a separate sheet that takes as long as it needs. The fonts are Baskerville for the main text and Ditto for the headings, because I find Baskerville a little bit heavy and bold, but I've since switched to a combination of Avenir Next and Palatino. Garamond is also lovely, Bodoni, CMU Serif, which is the PH Diaries logo font. Whatever you do, choose a sans serif font for the headings and a serif font for the main body of text. This is standard convention and makes it easier to read, and I didn't know that when I made this CV. Things to include. At the very top, put your name, and a date in the corner is helpful. Points of contact come next, so address, email, phone, and if they're professional, Twitter or your personal website. Education goes at the top because it's the most important part. You need to include where and when you studied, your degree, your subject, classification, and the overall percentage grade. Talk specifically about your last 2 years in particular, because these probably best represent your skills. So I gave the names and grades of any large projects I'd done, and I also listed my modules in order of relevance. For current PhD students, skip the last part and talk about your current project. Since I'm only a year in and don't have much to talk about yet, I gave a 3 bullet point summary of premise, methods, and implications. Add your A-levels, but I've heard mixed reviews about adding as far back as GCSEs. I say go for it, you earn those as much as anything else. Any honours, scholarships or awards come next. If you don't have any, you could always look online at society websites for best undergrad dissertation awards. Any research experience comes next. If you have internships or placements, they'd be great, but remember your independent dissertations do count, so there's always something to write about. This is the place to expand on what your latest research has been on. So when talking about my masters, I gave the 3 bullet point summary again of premise, methods and conclusions. Next, research skills. This is anything you've picked up so far that will be useful for higher study. So these could be hard skills like a language or a laboratory method, or soft ones like general training in your subject. After this, my old CV and my new CV really differ, so it depends what you can write about at this point. For instance, in my new CV, I have a section each for teaching experience and outreach, because these are things I've done a lot of in the past year. So if you're a chemist, you could have a whole section on your lab skills, a pianist, a whole section on your performances, etc. In my new CV, I also make 2 lines at the bottom to talk about my hobbies, because I think it's nice for people to know you like writing sci-fi and hiking. And last come your publications and conference papers. These can go bibliography style under separate headings, with the most recent listed first. So we've got personal details, education history, honours and awards, research experience, research skills, room for personal tailoring, and then publications on a separate sheet. A couple of things. Number 1, stay on point. I mentioned writing sci-fi, but it's very brief and it's only a postscript point of interest. Number 2, be sensible with font size. My new one is size 10 at its smallest, and I wouldn't really want to go any smaller. And no cheating with line spaces. It should be 1.0 at its minimum and 1.2 if you can spare it. Number 3, it's up to you whether you're more a bullet point or a sentence person in this. Just remember, sentences can get waffly and bullets can be too brief. When you're done, see if your old university careers service will check it over for you even after you've left. Get family and friends to read over it as well. They don't need to be professional, just to see if it flows and reads well. And there you have it. You now have an academic CV. Remember, this is not the only way to make a CV. This is just the way I do it, and it works for me, but be sure to have a Google for ideas before you start. If you've recently revamped your CV and have some tips you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments for myself and other viewers to see. Other things I want to know include, but are not limited to, your favourite classy fonts, the strangest thing you've ever read or put on a CV, and what topic you'd like to see discussed in my next video. I really hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching the PH Diaries. Take care until next time.